Hello everybody, in this video we will go back to Jupyter Notebook and we'll start to learn a little bit how to do things with it, because we will be coding in it and we need to understand it a little bit more so that you won't have issue in the next video. So let's go back to it. Remember, you just need to open the console. I showed that in the previous video, and you write Jupyter lab. When you do that, it opens in Chrome. Here I can see the previous notebook I had. I just close it. I click on in notebook in Python 3 and I open a new notebook. What do we need to know about this interface? First, you can see there is a cell, a blue cell, and I can click in it and I can write code in it like we did last time. Now what happens if I press the escape button? I press it and now I see the cell is not blue anymore. So what does that mean? It means that when it's blue, it just means that I'm inside the cell. So I can write something inside and I can execute the code by pressing Control Shift. Let's do it again, exactly like last time. Hello world. Shift Enter and it runs the code. So with Jupyter Notebook, you can do that. You can run the code by chunks. You don't have to code everything, then compile. If you ever heard of that word, you don't need to care about that too much here, because you can just do line by line or do several lines in one cell and run only this bit. So if I want, I can run several lines in one cell. Let's copy everything. I passed everything. I press enter, not shift enter, just enter, and I passed it again. Then I run that and it prints hello world twice because I asked twice. So you can add several lines of code in one cell and then you can just run that cell with a shift enter. Now look, if I do escape, then I press M. You see everything changed. So if I press Y, it goes back to how it was. M, Y, M, Y, M, Y, M. So what does it change? When I press M, when I'm outside the cell, it goes to a Markdown. So Markdown is like just text. It's the kind of the language you have for the Wikipedia, so you can have title and that kind of thing. It doesn't really matter for us right now. We can look at that later on. But if I run this still with Shift Enter, then it just text. Right? So it doesn't actually run Python, it just writes code. But if I'm in a cell that says code, which to go back, if I was in Markdown, I just need to click on the Y, then I can see those brackets again, and now I can write code again. That's important to know, because if by mistake you press M, then you would be like, oh, the code is not working anymore. So I really wanted you to know that it worked like this. Now something else. Let's say you run several cells. You can do it empty, just like that. And then you want to delete a cell. So you just need to be outside of the cell. So I need to press escape here because I got a blue border, and press twice on D. Double D, double D, double D, double D, double D. Each time I did double D, I've been deleting the cell where I was. So I can delete one cell one by one like this. So I can just delete a few by clicking double D many times. So it's useful because you don't want to keep all the old cells of things that might not be of interest for you. So let's try something else. If I print hello world again, maybe you can print something else. Hello France. You can just write whatever you want, right? We'll look at that in the next lecture. I print hello France, and here I see that it says 3. Right? Before it says 1, before it says 2. If I run again here, it says 4. I can go back here, run it again, all the time with Shift Enter, and now it says 5. Right? So this number can be higher on a higher line. Where it is doesn't really matter. What it means is when and the order where the cells were executed. So this one was executed before this one, because this one was the fourth one to be executed, and this one was the fifth one to be executed, right? And if I just do it again here, this one is the sixth one to be executed, and I can just rerun, etc. So it's useful because it helps you know, okay, which one was the last one that you run. Ideally and normally you would just run them in the order, but when you're testing, developing, debugging, we'll see all that soon, well, this can be useful. So that's it for Jupyter Notebook. There are many other options, and we'll probably look at them in another video. What I wanted you is really to understand, okay, how do I actually run the code, how I go out of Markdown, and if I want to go back to code, how do I go back to code? And then, well, you will see way more all the rest soon. So we're ready to go. In the next lecture, I'll be showing you Colab in case you had issues with installation of Python and Anaconda. There is an alternative, so that's what we'll be looking at. If you didn't have any issue, you technically don't need this lecture, but it's also useful because that's a free computer on the web, so you'll be interested. Until then, see you soon.